This is a stimulus update, and the daily news report got some important updates. The government will not be shutting down yet. The Senate has voted and passed the stopgap funding bill, but there is a date when the government could shut down a new weeks away. There are $2,000 and $4,000 stimulus checks that could be claimed. The US Senate voted to move forward with a stopgap funding bill after the energy proposal drafts. Also, the Senate moves ahead on us funding after mentioning it drops energy bid. So the whole mentioned energy pipeline bill that was supposed to be snuck into this big bill is actually dropped, and looks like the government won't be shutting down. But there is a date that it could shut down. So it looks like the Senate voted on this for the stopgap funding bill to keep the government running. But there is a date. It's not like it's permanent until next September of 2023. It's actually going until December 16th. So December 16th is the next time that a government could shut down, and they did it without having to do that at midnight. Senator Joe Manchin has pulled his permitting bill from the spending package. South Dakota Republican Senator John Thune said, "We think there was a better way to do this, and the Manchin reforms were very limited and, in fact, in many ways, short of moved us away from what we were trying to accomplish in terms of truly meaningful permitting reforms. So there's an effort underway now, which should have started a long time ago, and Joe Manchin has incorporated Shelley Moore Capito, his fellow senator from West Virginia, who has a bill that is truly permitting reform that has 50 Republican co-sponsors on it. And I think that they can find a path forward that will enable us to do some meaningful permitting reform, but unfortunately, the Manchin bill did not get us there." He added, "My hope could be that if we do get the majority, we're going to reprioritize all the Biden agenda items because clearly we got an economy that's wobbly, we have 40-year high inflation, we've got an energy crisis. As a country, we've got a border crisis in this country. We are going to have to literally start from ground zero and do everything we can to resolve some of the harm that's been done through those massive spending bills." The 87,000 new employees at the IRS, for example, is one area where I think a Republican Congress, through the power of the purse, through the appropriations process, and through the confirmation process, may be able to leverage and get the administration to go back on some of these huge new spending programs that they started as a result of those two big spending bills. So we'll be doing everything we can to exercise all the powers we have, knowing that we will be dealing with a Democrat president and a veto pen. But believe me, we will be using all the leverage we have. John also said, "I think the thing that we could want to do right away makes permanent the 27 tax law. A lot of those provisions are expiring if you want to give investors certainty and predictability." It starts there, and then it starts with changing the approach to regulations toward the heavy hand of government that's been imposed by this administration that needs to be replaced with a lighter touch. And let's get the incentives out there for investment to increase supply in our economy. And hopefully that will start to equalize with demand, and we can see inflation start to moderate. But as of right now, it's a fire alarm crisis, and we've got to take the House in the Senate in November if we are going to turn it around. Stated that he was confident that he could take both the House and the Senate. He went like this: "I just think that people at the end of the day, when they look at their pocketbook, voters and the Democrats are trying to change the subjects, trying to distract in other areas. But if you look at the border, national security, economic security, energy security, that's the biggest of issues that I think Americans people are focused on, and when they vote is going to be a very clear contrast between the two visions for the future of this country. We need a different vision that's good for the economy, energy security, national security, and the Republicans will provide that. And I think the American people get that. I think they've seen enough of this administration's policies, the effects and results of that, and they are ready for change. So I'm hopeful, I'm confident, and I think we are gonna get it done. Next, let's talk about these $2,000 to $4,000 checks. The deadline to claim direct payment worth up to $4,000 for thousands of Americans is in days. So there are just days left for thousands of Americans to act and claim direct payments. The excluded New Jerseyans Fund is offering support to those in the Garden State who missed out on stimulus checks. The direct payments are worth $2,000 for individuals and $4,000 for families. To roll out the program, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy set aside $40 million, which was followed by another $20 million from the American Rescue Act. While applications closed in February and have not reopened, there is still a group that needs to take action. There are about 17,000 applicants that have failed to send over all required documentation, reports the New Jersey Monitor, citing a spokeswoman for the Department of Human Services, DHS, along with undocumented individuals, people recently incarcerated, and anyone who did not receive both federal stimulus checks and pandemic unemployment assistance was able to apply. What happened is that not everyone is getting it at the moment. What this budget shows once again through hard work and good faith negotiation, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents can come together to do what is right for many people, and that we can do so without rancor or bitter partnership that has come sometimes divided August in the past. Governor Janet Mills explained after the bill was passed. So basically, to qualify for this, the Maine residents must be a full-year resident of the state and file a 2021 Maine income tax return by October 31st. So if you don't get your Maine $850 check yet, you have until October 31st to submit your taxes so you can be eligible for that. And when it comes to the federal level for stimulus checks at this moment, it's not in Congress or it's not going through. Some are saying it could be done through executive order, and so we are saying that it could cause more inflation, but I think if most people were given the option of a stimulus check, they could take it, especially with all the hard times that are going on right now. But anyways, that is all the news that I have for you today to cheer you up a bit. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.